This was actually some pretty incredible news from the Procreate team, but I have one massive question based on a comment that was made in passing, and for once the question isn't about pricing, because they went over that, and I've got to say they totally knocked it out of the park. But first, so that we're on the same page, let's go through a quick summary of exactly what they announced at the event. Savage Interactive, the company behind Procreate, announced their first entry into the animation space, and it looks fascinating. What makes the app pretty unique is that it bundles both traditional and modern animation techniques into one program. Traditional cell animation works by drawing individual frames, just like a movie is made up of a bunch of single pictures that we play back quickly, giving us animation or movement. In traditional animation, they would do this process by hand, manually drawing every single frame to get motion. Most movies run at around 24 frames per second. That's considered cinematic, so that's 24 drawings for 1 second of motion, which means that for just 1 minute of animation, that's 60 times 24 or 1,440 drawings for 1 minute. Nowadays, we have these fancy boxes we call computers that can do some of this work for us. With motion graphics apps like Adobe After Effects and Apple Motion, I can just say I want my shape here now, that's my first keyframe, and then I want it here in 2 seconds, that's my second keyframe, and let the computer figure out the frames in between. What seems cool about Dreams is that it'll allow us to play with both traditional and keyframe or motion graphics approaches. They even showed a new method they're calling performance mode, where the app can literally record motion you add while you perform it. Video and audio tracks can also be pulled into Dreams, which brings us to an overlap with video editing programs like iMovie, Final Cut Pro, Premiere, and DaVinci Resolve. This would mean that we'd be able to animate over videos, use videos in our animations, and add music to score a project. This is all pretty impressive, and it actually makes me curious about how well this would perform as a single standalone video editor. Related to what's been the bread and butter of their business, basically drawing and painting, they announced that we'll be able to use all of our Procreate brushes in Dreams, which is really amazing. Rounding out the discussion, they talked about privacy, how they're not using image diffusion models, that's stuff that's used to make AI images, no data harvesting, and their apps never phone home, so no data collection ever happens. They even talked about the price and availability, which is a one-time purchase of $19.99 US with the app being available on November 22nd. That's pretty amazing. So after all of this, what could my big question possibly be? Okay, so during the event, they also mentioned that they're building all of this using a new processing engine so that it's all super fast and responsive. They've come up with a new file format, .dream, for those new animation files that will remember and save all undo states so that we never lose them. That's pretty impressive. This next bit, though, is where I feel like we're beginning to dabble in the mystical arts. They described that the current Procreate engine can support canvas dimensions up to 16,000 pixels. So I went back and checked on my M1 iPad Pro, and sure enough, the biggest canvas dimension that I could create was exactly 16,384 pixels. Apparently, the new engine can support a mind-bending 1 million by 1 million pixel document. Think about most digital cameras. Those are usually 12 megapixels, 24 megapixels, where we get into prosumer SLR type cameras. We're getting into 30, 40, and maybe even 50 plus megapixel cameras. What they're describing here is a 1 million megapixel image. They even showed this visual showing the monstrous size. Now, when they described all this, they called the engine the next generation Procreate painting engine. And they made this passing comment.
And we're going to be bringing all of these features back to Procreate.
So my big question is, exactly what functionality from this new engine is coming to Procreate? Based on what I heard with the new standalone animation app Dreams, they won't need to bring audio and video functionality into Procreate, which, although it's supported animation for a while, is still a drawing app at heart. So based on what they said, it sounds like we might be getting the absolutely bonkers document size increase, the permanent undo memory, which was pretty awesome, and some performance enhancements. If I keep going with this train of thought, I'd expect that potentially means we could say goodbye to ever having to worry about layer count constraints when we're making new documents. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when we create a new document or a new canvas in Procreate, there's an indication of the maximum number of layers the document can have based on the resolution of the canvas. With this new engine, the maximum count may be so huge that we just don't have to worry about this anymore. Until I actually get to try Dreams and the updated version of Procreate, I'm going to stay positive because this team has been consistently delivering for years. But I'm still going to take everything with a bit of a grain of salt because these are some truly incredible specs. I've linked up the announcement video and the keynote for Dreams in the description below. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new app, if you'd use it, and what you think we'll see make it over into the Procreate world. While we're all waiting for this update, if you'd like to learn how to make some fun blackletter calligraphy art in Procreate, I've made this complete tutorial that you can follow along with right now. In the meantime, keep writing, keep playing, have fun, and I will see you next time.